going on, Jeromes? Beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. We'll get better at doing Q&A videos. First up, Ethan Griffith, OG Jerome. Sounds fun. Is a girl being a Packers fan an instant deal breaker when looking for a partner? Luckily, I have found my person, but when I was on the apps, if I saw a Packers jersey, I swiped left instantly. So left is no, I'm guessing. Also, shout out Preacher Paul, Holland for all y'all from the old live stream days. That's right. Preacher Paul on the road. It's fantastic, man. Like, also, I kind of miss the live stream days. I don't want to go back to it because I don't like having a set schedule. But during the Rona, there's a good connection. Yeah. But dating wise, like, so my wife does not give two absolute poops about sports whatsoever. Like, she does not care. But I did date a Packers fan back in the day, and it wasn't bad, you know? And I actually think that it could be like some spiciness in the romance, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like, sports is just a fun distraction. And as we said before, there isn't like hatred or vitriol when it comes to the Vikings Packers, right? And it'd be different if it was like Saints Falcons or 49ers or Raiders versus anyone or like Giants and Eagles. I feel like that one could be a deal breaker, right? So overall, like, I don't think it's that bad, right? And also, she can crack all the time. It's like, oh, we're never getting married because Vikings fans never expect a ring. Blah, 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 blah. All that stupid stuff, right? But I mean, I've said this before. Like, I've never had like an actual beef with a Packers fan. You know what I mean? If you see them out in public, the banter's, you know, kind of, ho, 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 we beat you, blah, 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 Jar Alexander, blah, blah, blah. But also, I mean, I've had a bunch of good, like, cookouts or tailgates or whatever with Packers fans, right? From back in the day. So, I don't think it's a deal breaker, right? Also, here's the thing, too. If she's, like, true blue from Wisconsin, she'll eat a brat. She'll drink a beer. She'll have lower standards in education, right? She'll have a brandy slush. You know what I mean? I'm just going off of like Charlie Barron's and his ex-wife's Wisconsin stereotypes, all that stuff, right? But she'll have some cheese curds, don't you know? Right? So I don't think it's a deal breaker. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Also, you know, like date days could be going to Vikings Packers. Just make that an annual thing. Get one of those stupid things that you see at the flea markets, which are obviously like copyright violations. House Divided. It's good. Next, Jeremy Potter with Harrison Smith retiring soon. Actually, now if she was a Bears fan or a Lions fan, well, if she's a Lions fan that only became a Lions fan within the last like 3 years, no, that's a deal breaker. Yeah. Jeremy Potter. With Harrison Smith retiring soon, do you think there's a chance he may want to or could become an assistant DB's coach for us? So the coaching life is not for everyone. You know, and Harrison Smith obviously has a ton of knowledge and easily could see him settling into a coaching role, but it's not for everyone, right? And we've seen players. I think Terrence Newman was an assistant DB coach for a season and then just decided it wasn't for him. Like, no judgment, no muss, no fuss. But I mean, there's only so many coaching spots. You know, some guys don't want to start at the bottom. But just passing on that knowledge, you know, some players, they end their career and they don't even know that they want to coach, right? But they miss when they were a veteran, like passing on knowledge to the young guys, making them see what they don't see, et cetera, and just still being involved with the game, still being involved with the team, you know, that camaraderie, like it's something that you miss when you get into civilian life. But on a Harrison, I don't think there's been any conversation or inkling about Harrison getting into coaching. He does have a lot of varied interests outside of the game, but I guess I could see it. Yeah, Harrison Smith going like like Eddie George, Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, hell, Deion Sanders, Jackson State, like starting off at a smaller college, building on up, going from there. You know, coaching high school first. We'll see. But Harrison, like I can see Harrison being a good DB coach, rising out there. But also, some players don't want the pay cut, and also the multitude of extra hours, because basically you get paid a fraction of what you did as a player, and you work 10 times as long, and probably 10 times as hard. Next, our free OG Jerome. Is the Minnesota sports curse real? I always laughed it off, but I'm really starting to wonder if I'll see a title of any kind here after the Twins World Series wins. Do Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell have any hope of ending it? If so, or even just don't sheet the bed in the big games would be a start. So, of course, yes, have to acknowledge the Frost back-to-back champs. Woo, right, in the state of hockey. Let's go. Of course, the Lynx. I mean, the Lynx got robbed last summer. They'll make a red this summer, right? But in terms of like the Vikings, Wild, Twins, Wolves, and hell, Minnesota United. I mean, hey, the Loons beat Messi 4-1, getting it done. But I don't know, like the Twins haven't really threatened since '91. Right? They've had some solid teams. They've had a couple Hall of Famers. Could never beat the Yankees in the playoffs. It is what it is. And every single time they get a little momentum, the ownership, the Polaz, is just like, let's trim payroll. Right? The Wolves, it feels like the Wolves are on the precipice. Now, obviously, the flashy headlines will be trading for Kevin Durant. Is that maybe like 2 years left? I mean, that's the big, sexy, flashy move, which I would be on board with. But I think that the better move would be trading for an established point guard next to Ant, like De'Aaron Fox, if the Spurs want to part ways with him. So bringing him in, Conley would be perfectly fine, veteran off the bench, perfectly fine there. But we'll see. But I do think that the Wolves are going to win a title, especially in this new age of NBA parity during Edwards' tenure. 100%. They got to keep McDaniels too. The Wild, I don't know, like you have the most exciting young player in the game this side of Connor McDavid, and you still can't get out of the first round of the playoffs. The hell, man. This is state of hockey. Come on. And of course, the Vikings. This might be the most complete Vikings roster that I've seen in quite some time. Right? And also, J.J. McCarthy, if he happens to be that dude, and he does not have to be that dude, but if he is that dude, he's a dude. So overall, like, I feel like the Minnesota sports curse might be a little legit, but also it might be a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy from the fans in terms of what their demands are. But I do think that the curse will be broken. I think that in order of likelihood to win titles, Vikings 1, Wolves 2. Actually, might be Wolves 1. Wolves 1A, Vikings 1B, Twins 2 or 3, I guess. Wolves 4, or excuse me, Wild 4, and United 5. What is it? Is there a Champions League for MLS? I'm assuming no. But yeah, put an MLS team in the Champions League. They'll just be done, man. They'll be done like freaking Liverpool in the Champions League. Not that I'm still mad. At least we won the league. Ryan, I was struggling with this. Sorry, brother. Ryan Nuwazada. Nailed it. Aloha, Andy. Hey, I love Hawaiian potato salad. I love Hawaiian macaroni salad. Nailed it. Actually, Hawaiians make a potato salad, I'm sure is damn good too. Right? Recently found out that my kids love Japanese potato salad, where it's not like the cubed up and boiled chunks of potatoes, like grandma used to make, which is good because I always sucked at that. I don't know why. I can't get the potatoes to the right tenderness or consistency, but Japanese potato salad, basically just make mashed potatoes, and then you got some of that Kewpie mayo, you got some cucumbers, you got some onion, you got some carrots in there for crunch, maybe a bit of sesame seeds, sesame oil, do all that stuff, and that's it. Like, the kids love it. Japanese potato salad. Anyways, hello, Andy. Do you see Max Brosmer as the Vikings quarterback 3 in 2025? Not 2025, maybe beyond. I think that Howell is probably going to be quarterback 2. I think Rippon's going to be quarterback 3. I know that the coaches like Rippon. There's some scuttlebutt that Howell and Rippon could be a competition. I think Sam Howell is just way more talented. I think that his ceiling's way higher. I think his floor is higher. Rippon is just a solid veteran. But Brosmer, I mean, him making the practice squad and just absorbing everything this year, I think that certainly could be a win. And maybe it's a spot too where Howell's in the last year of his rookie deal. Maybe he's a one and done. Rippon still is that quarterback 2. Maybe Brosmer moves up to quarterback 3 next year. But we'll see. Just bring another quarterback into the KOC rehab car wash for quarterbacks who can't throw good. Good times. Lastly, Brent G, how much of your videos are fully scripted versus off the cuff? You seem to do a great job weaving in personality and seemingly off the cuff references. So I'm curious what the process is for you to put together the commentaries. Love your work, and hey, thank you. So back in the day, so like the first, I I distinctly remember the first audio podcast was the week 14 of the 2013 season, the Blizzard game against the Ravens, where it was like 9-6 heading into the fourth quarter, and that ended up like 38, 34, something like that. But I remember that Jumpin' Joe Flacco in that Blizzard marched 80 yards in 45 seconds with no timeouts and hit Marlon Moore on a touchdown. Not that I'm still bitter at Leslie Frazier, but every single word of that podcast, it was like 5 minutes, was scripted. The Vikings lost again. Leslie Frazier needs to be fired. Toby Gerhart, what up? Something like that. But now, so I realize that like getting in reps is the best way to build up a skill. I could talk paint off of a wall, and that's not a bad breath joke. I actually think I'm pretty good. But it is like a learning skill to be able to talk to yourself, which I don't know. That used to be a sign of mental illness, and they put you in one of those asylums, man. But overall, we'll obviously have stats up either on the graphics, which I can see, or on notes on the side. But other than that, it really is kind of grip it and rip it, which is fun. Or when we do like the raw, real audio rants, it'll be maybe a couple stats, and the rest of that is just riffing, and usually butt-ass naked. I might be naked right now. Don't know. But yeah, that's basically it. I think what it is, so sometimes we get messages or emails of people starting channels and stuff, and I always tell them, your first like year, you're gonna suck. You're gonna suck ass. You're gonna want to quit. You're gonna have like 2 viewers. Both of them are cats. One of them is your grandma. You got a grandma cat. But I just keep after it because you literally get better. Every single opportunity, every single time you're thinking on your feet, every single time you sort of like Tourette's throw in a dated cultural reference that maybe like 2% of the population will get, but when they get them, you're like, it's awesome, man. But just keep grinding, growing, and showing, and just go from there. It's kind of good. Plus, I found that it definitely carries over where, I don't know, like I've always been sort of a social person when I want to be. Yeah. But I've found that it definitely helps like carrying on a conversation, being able to sort of read, even though we obviously do this by ourselves, but being able to read where the next logical step in a conversation, head it off at the pass and go from there, and just being well versed in talking. I don't know. I've definitely noticed a shift. That was all. Anyways, thank you everyone who submitted questions, Q&A on this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.